Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take a quick look at the card game Larceny. It's important to note that Larceny will be launching on Kickstarter on 8/28/2013, meaning that everything that you see here is subject to change. Larceny is a card game for 3 or more players, ages roughly 10 and up. Average play time, basically it varies, it's whenever you want to stop. This game is like apples to apples, but it has a heist theme to it. Before I get into all that though, let's just take a quick look at all of the components and how the game plays. Alright, and these are the basic components that come with the game. You've got 3 decks of cards. You've got the score deck, the catch deck, and the fix deck. Now, earlier I mentioned that this game has a heist theme to it, and that's exactly what this game is all about. Every player in the game is going to take on the role of a thief, and you're going to be working together as a group. The score has cards in it that represent valuable objects, like, for example, this is my personal favorite, the original Batmobile. And there's even some cool facts on here, sold for $4.6 million at auction. So I like that. There's also the Eiffel Tower, Babe Ruth home run bat. So players are going to be trying to work together to get these scorecards. The next deck is called the catch deck. Basically, these represent the obstacles that players are going to be trying to overcome in order to win these scorecards. You've got things like freak storms, bears, tear gas, loud alarms, so on and so forth. Finally, you've got the fixed deck. The fixed deck are basically what's going to be forming players' hands, and they represent the objects that can be used to overcome these obstacles or catch cards. You've got abilities like speak in a fake accent. You've got access to trained monkeys, cloned cell phone, binoculars, handcuffs, so on and so forth. As you can see, the fixed deck is the largest out of the 3 decks. Alright, as far as the gameplay goes, it's relatively simple. Every round, a new chief will be assigned. The chief is basically the player that's going to be organizing everything. What they'll do at the beginning of their turn, they'll draw 1 scorecard, which again are cards like your Babe Ruth home run bat, the objects that thieves are going to be trying to collect and run away with. And the chief will also draw 2 of these catch cards. Basically, again, these are obstacles that players will need to overcome. Now, with that said, every other player besides the chief will have a hand of 7 cards, and they'll be going through these 7 cards to figure out what cards they want to play to combat these obstacles, or these catch cards. So, players are going to pick from their hand of 7 cards. Let's say binoculars would work great against tear gas, for whatever reason. And let's say that handcuffs would work great against bears. Yeah. So player A supposedly picked that. Player B may decide, okay, a fire extinguisher would work great against tear gas. A spike strip would work great against bears. As you can see, the game is a big hit with my younger son. And that is it for player 2. And player 3 might decide that, well, hey, raw meat and bears. Now, that sounds like a great combination. So raw meat would work great against the bear, and chocolate cake would work great against tear gas. So they would put that card. These cards are funny. He would put... Sorry, I can't talk. The third player would put those cards down. So finally, after all the players contributed 1 fixed card per catch card, the chief would then look at each pile separately and pick the best card. Let's say the chief looked at these and thought, the spike strip would work the best against bears, even though raw meat is the obvious choice, but spike strip sounded funny. So the player who submitted that answer would get a point. Let's see, and then the chief would go through the other one, and he decides, well, chocolate cake and tear gas, that's just excellent. So he picks that one, and the person who submitted the chocolate cake would get a point. So basically anyone that submits chocolate cake should get a point. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it. And the role of the chief is going to rotate around the table until players get tired and don't want to play anymore. That about sums it up for the basic gameplay. but I'd be negligent if I didn't mention that the game comes with a ton of variants. In fact, the manual has like 2 or 3 pages devoted to it. Some of the most notable that I liked, you've got the best laid plans. That's sort of like your storytelling mode for those of you that like to roleplay. In addition to playing the fixed cards, crew members, or the players that are not the chief, will have to submit a story to go along with their fixed cards. So the chief will then pick the best card along with the best story to combat the catch cards that are drawn. On the other hand, you've got the worst laid plans, which is the complete opposite. Crew members will be trying to come up with the worst story possible along with their fixed card, and the chief would then pick the worst story. You've also got a few other modes in here. I don't want to get into too much, but you've got a cooperative mode via the heist variant. You've got a versus mode of sorts via the troubleshooters variant. So there's a lot here for players to look at and to play with. And there you have it. Honestly, that's all there is to it. Larceny, I highly recommend it. It's a very fun game. There's a lot of silly combinations in here that make for a lot of fun. Very imaginative people, very silly people will get the most out of this game. So if you're the type of family that loves to play apples to apples or say anything, this would work out great for you. If you like what you see here, you can check out the game on Kickstarter. Again, it's launching on 8/28/2013. There's a link in the below description, or you can check out the written preview, www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. This is Vince and Vinny Jr. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.